Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Your Sweetest Life with Stephanie J. I'm Stephanie J. I'm along with you. This is a wellness community that's focused on creating your sweetest life. Your sweetest life is a life where you are your healthiest being and you're living a life you love. This week I shared a post. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, you can follow me at Your Sweetest Life on Instagram. Over there I share a lot of posts about wellness. I share things about my personal life and my personal journey to wellness. This channel is some of my journey to my sweetest life, and also I share tips, information where I interview other people and talk about their sweetest life. But today I wanted to talk a little bit about 6 tips, 6 ways to sustain your wellness throughout your life, because one of the challenges that we always face is just when we're on a wellness journey. This has happened to me. This has happened to so many people I know. You're on your wellness journey. You're doing great. You're on track. You're working out every day, eating healthy. Your mindset's good. You're getting up early, and then all of a sudden something happens in your life. Something happens that you have a bad moment, or something, someone passes away, or something happens that has a huge impact on that version of your sweetest life. You have to pivot to different ways how you view things. And so these are just some tips that are helpful to kind of go along with a sustainable wellness mindset and wellness in your body. So the focus on your sweetest life is spirit, mind, and body, and flourishing and nourishing your body. So I want to nourish your body, your spirit, your mind, your body. I want you to flourish in every area. I got my notes here. Always got my notes on my phone and I got my mic in my hand. So I'm going to clip my mic on here. Give me 1 second. So 6 sustainable, and I actually have more than that, but we're just going to do 6. We might do more another day. Maybe, we'll see. So 6 ways to build sustainable wellness. We want to be well throughout our whole lives. And, being 57 years old is when you start to want to enjoy life more. You have more space and time. Raising kids, and we were, we were hustling kids around to practices, and we were working full time, and we were doing all these things. We were focused on our wellness, but we were focused on our kids a lot more. And now that we're at a point where we're, me and my husband and I are in our later 50s, that we're actually able to start enjoying lives ourselves. And so one of the things that's really important is to have that kind of life energy throughout your life. So when you do get to this point in life where you don't have children and it's just you and your spouse or you and your partner, that you can have the health and energy to be able to do the things you want to do. So sustaining wellness. Number 1, start small and build gradually. So many people want to go into a wellness journey and they want to just, go in and they want to go hard. They want to work out 6 days a week, and they cut all the carbs out and all the sugar out. And for some people that may be sustainable, right? There are people who can cut everything out, do 6 days a week and stick to it for life. But most people don't. Most people will do it for a period of time. So they'll do it when they're getting ready for a wedding or vacation or something like that. Begin with manageable changes. Begin with manageable changes. So you want to begin with changes where if it's just cutting out sugar at night, if you're adding an extra day of walking, or if you're trying to get like steps for your goal, make it a manageable change. Next, set clear, achievable goals. This is one of the major life challenges that many of us have. I always have challenges with work goals. I don't know what it is about every year when you have your evaluation that they ask you to set a goal. I can never think of a goal. And I can think of goals like in regular life, but when it comes to work life, I can't ever think of a goal. I actually Googled goals for work for your yearly evaluation because I couldn't think of one. But in life, thinking of even setting clear, achievable goals, define specific, measurable objectives. So you want to be able to say, this is my goal. And I want to, so let's say speaking Spanish. I always use that one because that's one I've been working on for a while. So for me to be able to speak Spanish and understand Spanish, I have to practice every day. Often situations where I'm speaking Spanish, so I meet with a private teacher, set up those lessons every week. Are specific measurable objectives to complete a weekly lesson. Break larger goals into smaller, achievable steps, actionable steps. So you want to be able to say, like I just said with the Spanish example, you want to set small. So for me to practice on the app every day, that's a very small thing. I can do that in 10 minutes or less, and I've met my daily goal for that. To set up and schedule a class every week. I can set up that class. Then the next step will be attending the class, practicing, and adding on. And then regularly review and adjust your goals as needed. And sometimes during life, like here's my example for Spanish class. I was taking Spanish every Monday consistently for the last month and a half. Every Monday I had classes scheduled. I started teaching classes on a Monday. So when I started teaching classes on Monday, that threw off my perfectly curated plan. And I scheduled on a Tuesday. My teacher did not make the lesson, and I have not rescheduled on for this week. So I got to review it now because Monday's not working. I'm going to be teaching another class on Tuesdays. Wednesdays may be my only day that I can take it. So I have to review that my plan that was working so well. My Mondays consistently was working so well. Now I have to rework that and figure out what day works best and make that more consistent. So sometimes you have to rework your plan, rework your goals, but keep working at them, keep setting achievable action steps every day. Great. Number 3, create a consistent routine. I think it's so like on Instagram and YouTube, there are so many videos, especially on YouTube. On YouTube, there's a ton of videos about morning routines, evening routines, daily routines, 5 a.m. routines, bedtime routines. There's so many. What I like to do, and you don't have to follow anybody else's routine, figure out what works best for you. So establish a regular schedule for your wellness activities, number 1. So you want to think about what's a good time for me to work out. For me personally, I'm a morning girl. I like getting up in the morning. I like getting my workout in, that done immediately. I am not an evening workout girl. I do not like to come home and have to change my clothes, have to go back out the house. No. So figure out what works for you. As far as prepping meals, me and my husband, we've always done Sunday meal prep. That works so well for us. Sometimes we don't get it done. We have to cook throughout the week, but mostly we do it on Sunday. That works perfect for us. So if Sundays don't work for you, maybe meal prepping on Monday night. Find out what works for you for that wellness routine. And grocery shopping, things like that. Figure out how those fit into your regular schedule and create a routine that works for you. Integrate habits into your daily life. Meal prep is a great habit that can keep you on track with your meals, your nutritional value, and the calories that you want to take in if you're meal prepping. It also keeps you consistent in what you're eating, and it can also, it can add to being able to have a normal body system because you're taking in the same food pretty consistently. So for me, meal prep offers me that I can pack my lunch. I know exactly what I'm going to pack. I know exactly what I'm going to cook, and it makes my life a lot simpler as far as keeping my wellness on track. That may not work for you. You may have to go about it a different way. You may have to pick up meals. So you might not have access to a kitchen. What does that look like if you're picking up meals? Can you plan ahead so you can get healthy options? If you're going out to eat, it's another one. Check the menu before you go. So you can integrate your daily healthy habits by if you are going out to eat with friends or for lunch, look at the menu ahead of time. Plan exactly what you're going to get before you get there. And then that way, when you get there, you're not going to be tempted by other things on the menu. And then use reminder apps to stay on track. So I love using Lose It, MyFitnessPal, apps like that keep me on track when I'm trying to get my food on track. If you also need reminders about drinking water, set reminders in your phone. Say, hey, grab a glass of water right now. Utilize the tools that you already have for success in your wellness. So be consistent, create a consistent routine, even when it comes to bedtime. Create a consistent routine. I heard Mel Robbins say this. I was listening to her podcast today, and she said this thing that really was like interesting. She said, if you want to sleep 8 hours, be in the bed for 9 hours. And I thought that was really interesting because what she's really saying is you want to sleep 8 hours, then an hour before the length of time you want to sleep, get in the bed an hour before to start to prepare for bed. Read a book, listen to music, do some things that are going to settle you in for sleep. So I thought that was really good. Mindfulness and self-awareness. Incorporate meditation and deep breathing into your everyday life. So I try to wake up every morning and take a deep breath and do stretches, stretch my body before I get out of bed. Add some of those into your daily life. Sometimes throughout the day, if you're having a stressful time, walk away and take a walk. That's one thing she said on her podcast. I thought that I do this all the time. I didn't even realize what I was doing. When you're having a moment where you're about to say something, about to do something, you feel like you're about to lose it, walk away. Take a walk. Take a moment and get away. Regular check-ins with yourself emotionally, physically. If you're feeling things not feeling right, figure out why. You emotionally aren't feeling right. I was just telling my husband today that I need to report these podcasts. I need to record something for Instagram, but I'm just not feeling it. I just wasn't my mood was because I had a really crazy week at work and some really crazy stuff happened. So my mood has just been blah. And then when I ate, I felt a lot better. And then I was able to come up and talk and record. So just be aware of your emotional state. I almost didn't sit down and record at the time I'm recording because I was feeling kind of blah. I went up and did some work with my plants and did some things that bring me joy. And then I felt a lot better. And I know emotionally that what was causing me to be stressed, I knew what it was. I had a lot of things going on and I was allowing those things to kind of build in my head, make me overwhelmed for no reason. And so checking in with yourself emotionally and then physically, if you feel things that don't feel right in your body, sometimes you can adjust what you're eating to see how that changes it, but also going to your provider to make sure there's nothing that's chronic illness or anything that's going to be more life-threatening. And then use journaling to track progress and identify patterns. If you are journaling regularly and you're seeing that this time of the day or during this time of the month or during this time I feel this certain way, or certain things that are happening that are triggers for you. Do journaling also just to get it out of your head. That has worked for me in the past. Getting those things out of my head has allowed me to have peace and allowed me to be able to function and move forward. I think I need to do some journaling about some things this week that I've gone through at work. A big one for us as adults is prioritizing sleep. We are the worst. We always think that we can work all night, that we can go, that we can, sleep 3 hours, 4 hours, and we're good. And we just aren't. One of the important things about sleep, besides resting your mind, is, like I said earlier, establish a sleep schedule. You want to sleep for 8 hours, be in the bed for 9 hours. So get yourself in the bed, get a book, try to stay off your electronics 30 minutes before you go to sleep. They say up to an hour to 30 minutes because of the blue light. Try to avoid being watching TV or your phone or your iPad, things like that. But try to choose something paper, maybe do your journaling then, maybe read a book. Spend time in a routine that's going to relax you. Do some meditation. Create a relaxing bedtime routine. I always teach people when they talk about bed is treat yourself like you would treat your kids. So when our kids are little, we put them to bed, we read them a story, we give them warm milk, we give them a nice snack, we wrap them in the bed and we tuck them in and read them a book and make sure they're all cozy. But we don't do that for ourselves. We'll go in the room and turn on the news and watch the news or, read something or watch something that's going to make you stressful right before bed. Treat yourself like you treated your young children. If you have young children, you make sure that they're comfortable and they're cozy and they feel great when they go to bed. So do that for yourself. And then optimize your sleep environment for quality rest. Make sure your room is a good temperature. I love a chilly room. I sleep so good in a chilly room. Oh my gosh, and the covers all pulled up. Biggest issues that I need to work on for my sleep is my pillows. I have not found the perfect pillow. But I also want, in your room space, make sure it's a space that you feel comfortable and happy and relaxed. Mostly relaxed. So take the stress out of the bedroom. So prioritize sleep. Get your 7 to 8 hours. You got to know your body. Everybody's body's different. Me personally, I'd never needed a lot of sleep, but as I get older, I'm needing more sleep. And I'm trying to take advantage of that. Even though I still have that 3 a.m. get up to go to the bathroom, I'll try to make sure I get 8 hours of sleep. And then lastly, develop a balanced nutritional plan. One of the things that can truly affect not only your mental health, your physical health, but also your mental health is a good nutritional plan, having a healthy plan, eating good, healthy, whole foods. Focus on whole, nutrition dense foods. What is a whole food? Well, it's a food that has little processing. So it's pretty much its original form. So when you look and when you think about foods, potato chips are potatoes, but do they look anything near their original form? No, they don't. So you have to look at whole foods, healthy whole foods that are nutrient dense foods. Practice portion control and mindful eating. Portion control is reading the label and knowing the actual size of a serving for that specific food that you are eating. An actual size of a serving. Not the whole bag, not the whole container. It's usually a serving size. So I had someone ask me recently, is hummus and Triscuits a good snack? I said, well, yeah, that is a good healthy snack if you need something salty, but you need to know the portion size. 6 Triscuits, 2 tablespoons of hummus. That's your serving size. You don't want to just take the container of hummus and just stick the chips in and just go to town, because now you're going to have 10 times the amount of calories because you haven't measured. So knowing the portion size of what you're eating will allow you to have healthy portions, maintain a healthy weight, and still obtain the nutritional value from the food. And then lastly, allow for occasional treats to maintain balance. It's okay to have ice cream. It's okay to have, chips here and there. It's okay to have these things occasionally. But 80% of your diet, 80% should be healthy, whole foods, nutrient dense. Then you have space on the 20% for the weekends when you have pizza, when you have wings, if you have a drink, a beer, a glass of wine, those things. Life is about living, and you can't live your sweetest life if you're confined to, some people do it. Some people are super happy eating healthy like that all the time, and they're good with that, and that's their choice for their life. But the average person wants to enjoy being with their friends, being with their family, doing those things, and having access to snacks and foods that they really can enjoy along with the people that they're with. So these are just 6 simple little tips. Most of us know these things. Most of us do them every day, but we don't think about them. Some of us need to add them more, but just 6 ways to build and sustain wellness. So I hope this has been helpful. Another podcast slash YouTube video, whichever way you're watching me. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening on the podcast, I hope these tips have been helpful for you. I hope that you take some of them and just try to apply them to your life, just 1 or 2 this week. Even starting small. Remember, start small. You don't have to be an overnight, what they call the weekend warriors. You don't have to be a weekend warrior, an overnight warrior, your own life warrior, and take it in small steps that you can. If getting to bed 1 day a week, 2 days a week, you start increasing your sleep by getting in the bed an hour before you want to go to sleep. Now, if you have small children, you're not able to do that, then get in the bed with them. Try to find the time that you can relax, settle your body. But these tips are hopefully helpful, and I hope that you continue to keep reaching for your sweetest life. I'm Stephanie J, and I'll see you on the next podcast YouTube video. Have a good day.